Listen. A very good afternoon to our heartful chief guests, all the faculty members and students. Myself, Neetu M, pursuing second year Bachelor's of Commerce. Guru Sri Shanti Vijay Jain College for Women, in association with Skill Development Cell, organizes a webinar on 3D animation using Maya software and job opportunities in animation world. The only person who's educated is the one who has learned how to learn and change. On behalf of our college, I would like to welcome you all to this webinar session. We consider it a great honor to welcome our guest, Mr. R. Vinod, Senior VFX Animation Faculty, Arena Animation, Ananagar, Chennai. Prayer is putting oneself in the hands of God. True to this, let us seek the Almighty's blessing before commencing the session. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill the love of learning. True to this, may I request Dr. S. Meenakshi Madam, Coordinator, Skill Development Cell, to render a gracious welcome to our chief guest and to all the spectators. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Neetu. Good afternoon to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver welcome address in this memorable occasion on behalf of Skill Development Cell of our college. I welcome our Honorable Secretary and Correspondent, Dr. Gautam Bhai, and express our sincere thanks for his kindness and continuous support in conducting such academic events. I welcome our respected principal, Dr. M.K. Malati, who always guides us in each and every academic activity with keen interest to organize it in a perfect and beautiful way. I welcome today's speaker, Mr. R. Vinod, Senior Faculty of Arena Animation, Annanagar, Chennai. I thank him for accepting our request to give a presentation on animation. He has 14 years of experience in this field. He started his career as a special effects artist and worked as a creative director for VFX at Anisoft Animation. He has worked for more than 80 movies, both Indian and Hollywood. The movies like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter were some of them. We are happy to welcome you, sir. I thank Ms. Javina of Arena Animation for helping me to organize this wonderful event. Also, I thank and congratulate the student coordinators, Rihana Shamin, Neetu, Varshini, and Rekha for their sincere cooperation in organizing this program. I am sure that this program will give our students an awareness on animation industry. Once again, I welcome everyone present here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very good afternoon to all. Myself, Vinod. I think my audio is clear for you all, right? Able to hear? Hello? Is it clear for you all? I think, okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Meenakshi ma'am, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share the knowledge with the students. And So I'm here to present regarding the 3D animation and visual effects. So first of all, let me show you some presentations for the 3D animation and visual effects so that we can get some knowledge on that. Okay, so I'll share my screen with you all. So today's session is all about 3D animation, right? So I'll tell you, so what is the 3D animation? So let's learn on this. What is 3D animation? How this industry works? So in this session, we'll be knowing how the 3D animation process will be done for the movies. So what is the industry strategy now? What are the job requirements now, and how this is a skill? This skill will be helpful in for futures. Okay, this is the future technology which we are going on to the next stage. Okay, so let's get into this. What is 3D animation? Okay, so what is 3D animation? So 3D animation is a process of creating a three-dimensional objects which gives a life to the characters. Okay, so in this slide I'll show you. Okay, so 3D animation is the art of using motion to bring characters, vehicles, props, and more. Okay, so what is characters, what is vehicles, and what is props? So character is nothing but which we create a human character or creature, whatever you see in this movies. Okay, for example, if a 2D artist can draw some characters. Okay, so that characters can be done in a 3D model. That 3D model will be converted into rigging, and then process will be transferred into an animation kind of things. Okay, so I'll show you this kind of demos and all, what all the process, how it is happening. Okay, so this is a process. Okay, 3D animation is like giving a life to a character or props or a vehicle. You can see in many movies, like if you take a Toy Story, there is a toy which is acting like a human, right? It is, there is a life for the toy. Okay, it can speak, it can dance, it can do whatever you want. Even the spoon or whatever the props you have. If you take a movie called Cars, okay, I think most of you have seen that Cars. Okay, the car, you won't think that a car is can speak or walk or run, or it have some feelings. Okay, it is like a machine. Vehicles is a machine, but in this creative field we can give uh, some creativity that builds that even car can have a life. They can speak, they can blink, they can do whatever they want. Like, that is called animation. So we can create a creativity which brings a life to a anything which we can bring it. Okay, so where these animation industries are used. Okay, it's used in Hollywood, Bollywood, Collywood, Tollywood, and it is in all the sectors where they are used. Okay, these animation industries are used. Okay, so next we'll see what are the percentage of the usages of these industries, and what are the industry in these industries, what are the sectors they are using. Okay, so first of all, we'll take for movies, web series, ad commercials, and televisions. So major role is in movies. We can see the major role is in movies for this 3D animation which we have used, and web series. Okay, you have seen like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar. These are all web series platforms. They are using these animations technologies, and also ad commercials and television series. You can see many Tamil television serials which is used for graphics, like Nagin, some kind of Nagin, and many things. Okay, many serials are using this animation technology for the serials, and ad commercial, even ad commercials also, they are getting into this 3D characters, using 3D characters. I'll show you some demos for that. Instead of using the human, they are creating with the 3D characters, so making that even more attractive. Like if you take a Kellogg's Chocos, there'll be a bear which comes and speak to that. It makes so interactive to the kids kind of things. And also ad commercials also, it is more interactive using this 3D animation things. Okay, so how this production industry works for this? What are the production pipelines? How this industry works? How many artists are working on this? What are the on what basis they are working? Okay, so how it is starting with the production pipeline? I'll show you in this slideshow. You can see what is the production pipeline. Okay, so production pipeline is nothing but it starts with an idea. So when a person has an idea, he creates a story for that idea. Okay, if you think something, you want to create some, you got an idea. Okay, so like that, for example, if you have a pen, that pen wants to be, it comes into your dream and it speaks to you, that you have an idea, so that idea can be built into a story. Okay, so that story builds into a storyboard. Okay, storyboard is nothing but how these characters are going to speak, what all the characters, what all the characters will be, what will be the background for that character, how it will be, what are the angles, camera angles it is, whether it is going to be a closed shot or it is going to be a long shot, that everything will be done in storyboard, what dialogue it is going to be speak. Okay, but there is a bunny character, the dialogue which is going to be spoken, that will be written in the storyboard, which camera angle, this that camera angle will also be mentioned in that thing, that is called a storyboard. Okay, and also that will be done in animatics. Animating is nothing but there will be 2D animation. Okay, the character has been drawn in this storyboard, this storyboard will be animated into a 2D animation for a preview purposes. Okay, because it is going to be started in a 3D movie, it is going to be a 3D animatics to a preview for the people who are going to work. Okay, there will be an explanation given to the people who are working on the process, so they will be previewing this characters and movements, what all the movements will be there, what all the dialogues will be there, what they are speaking, what is the mood of the film, everything will be previewed in this 2D animatics. That will be a preview for them to develop the next process, production process. So after seeing this animatics, that will be go to the design process. In this design process, what they will do is they will start doing a character design. Okay, how the character is going to be, how what are the kind of character is, whether it is going to be a creature or it is going to be cartoon or it is going to be a realistic or it is going to be a semi-realistic humans. Okay, these kind of things will be created in the design platform. Okay, then it goes to the layout process. Layout is nothing but the process where they will create the basic animation of this thing. So where are the what kind of background it is going to be, that is like a R&D development. So what background is going to be, what kind of characters, how this it is going to be a forest or it is going to be a city, so what kind of buildings, how high the building should be, what kind of forest it should be, what are the grasses, what are the plants, what are the trees, that kind of things will be in done in R&D. After that it goes to the modeling. Okay, so what modeling, I'll explain this modeling, texturing, rigging and all in a detail in the next slides. We'll see what is modeling. So the modeling is nothing but creating this character as a 3D character. Like if you do a statue in 3D, right, with the clay, that is called 3D, right? When you draw a character, that is 2D in a paper. When you create the same character in a mold kind of thing, that with the clay, that is called a three-dimensional object, because it has three different axes, X, Y and Z. We can see three axes in that clay statue. But if you draw it in a 2D statue, 2D kind of drawings, there will be only x-axis and y-axis, so that is only 2D. So if you see the third dimension like z-axis, that is called 3D. The modeling process will also be done in the 3D with the help of softwares. Okay, so with the help of 3D softwares, you will be doing this modeling. After that it gets to the texturing. Texturing is nothing but creating a painting. So for a clay model, you will do manual painting, right? For if you do some statues, you will be painting the colors and what are the ornaments it is wearing, you will paint it into the golden paint, what are the dresses it will be wearing, you will be texturing with that kind of paint. Same thing process handles in a 3D. In the texturing process, they will be doing what all the kind of textures it should have, what are the kind of dresses it should wear, whether it is having a fur, whether it is having a dress, cloth, pant, jeans or silk, velvet, what kind of material is going to, if it is a velvet toy, so the material will be in a velvet, so we have to create the same kind of materials and textures in that velvet, whether it is going to be character or it is going to be car, it is going to be background or BG, whatever it is. If it is a forest, the plants should be textured with the same kind of leaf kind of colors. If it is a background, like if it is an interior, there should be a wall, there should be a photo frames or something, it should be AC, TV, whatever it is, everything should be textured and we have to create it. That is called texturing. Okay. After that, the process goes to rigging setup. Rigging setup is nothing but creating the bone setups, like a puppet kind of animations. It will be created to the animation. After that, we will start the animation, then goes to the VFX process and lighting, rendering, finally compositing. Okay, whether you want to after compositing, you'll add the motion graphics, whether it is going to be 2D motion graphics or 3D motion graphics, then color correction and final output will be done by the output. That will be the movie. Okay, so these are the basic production process which will be done for this animation movies. Okay, next 3D modeling. So I'll give the I told you that I'll tell the explanation. So 3D modeling is nothing but it's computer generated graphics. 3D modeling is a process of developing a mathematical representation of any surface of an object in three-dimensional via specialized softwares. Okay, the product is called a 3D model. So someone who works with the 3D model may be referred as a 3D artist or a 3D modeler. So people who are working for this kind of things will be called as a 3D artist or a 3D modeler. So it is like creating a mathematical representation of three-dimensional objects. That is called a 3D modeling. Okay. Next is 3D texturing. 3D texturing is nothing kind of giving a surface details, which I told previously. Surface detail is nothing but creating the materials, whether it is going to be a plastic or wood or whatever, glass, material, chrome, everything. That is called a surface detailing. Okay. For this and all, I'll show you the some demos for you. It is going to be environment modelings. These sectors are used in mostly games, films, and televisions. If you see in movies and films, there will be a background which is computer generated, which is not a realistic. Okay, they'll be using some green screens and blue screens technologies. Then they'll remove the green screens and blue screens, and they will add the 3D buildings into it. Okay, so I'll show you the demos. We'll see in the next slides after that. So 3D lighting also does a major role in this. Okay, after modeling and texturing, the lighting is a major role in this. Whatever is the texture you put, there should be a proper lighting. Without the proper lighting, there you cannot see the realistic effects, because if it is a dark, if there is no light, you cannot see any colors, any reflections or refractions, anything. So this is the main process of 3D texturing. And so after texturing, the lighting is a main process to give the whole scene realistic, whether it is going to be interior scene or it is going to be exterior scene or it is going to be underwater scene. So whatever it is, there should be a proper lighting in that, so that we can be so clear. Okay, 3D lighting is a collection of tools and techniques used to simulate light in a computer generated 3D environment. So there is a computer generated 3D environment. It doesn't have any lights like sunlight or nothing in that. It is a dark environment where you have to create every light by yourself. So if it is going to be sunlight, you have to create the same light. That we can have all the calculations like caustics, global illuminations. You can emit the photons from the light, so that can be calculated and rendered it. Okay. Next, rigging, as I told, it is a skeletal animation for representing a 3D character model using series of interconnected digital bones. So these are all digital bones, not a realistic bones. They're like a digital bones, which we can use it like a real bones. Okay, and bone structure of 3D model. Okay, so it is like a puppet. You can create a 3D character which is a puppet, so that you can animate it. Okay, that is a 3D rigging. And animation is a graphic technique that motion to the character. So you have done a puppet. So like you have done a model, you have tied the rope to the hands of the model. So when you are doing the adjusting the rope, the character will move in the puppet. Same thing, if you have done a digital bones, you will have some controls. With the help of controls, we can animate this characters. Okay, this is called 3D animation and thing. Okay, so thank you so much, and I'll share you some videos for this. Okay, right now we have seen this, and we'll see a video of demo reel for this, and also I'll show you the hands-on works, how this process has been done in the softwares. Right. So now I'll play the movie called Avengers, which done by the Framestone. So this is like they have used the softwares, 3D softwares. In this 3D softwares, every character has been captured with the motion capture technology, where these bones are connected to that motion capture technology. Then if the character acts, the same thing will be given process to the animation characters, that will be react to this same characters, right? So I'll explain this while watching this. Okay.
More eggs are planted.
Okay, so this is called a motion capture technology, where these cameras and the shoots captures this character's motions and the face reactions. These face reactions are transferred to this camera. From this camera, it is transferred to the computer with this kind of transmitters. From that computer, these points are connected to the bones. You can see white color dots. These dots, these are all the tracking points where, and these dots are the tracking points. These motions are captured through these points, and it is transferred to this skeletal. So this character skeleton, this skeleton is connected to that suit. So whatever he does, that will be transferred to this skeletal, and this skeletal will react the same action what he is doing. So this is called the motion capture technology, and this is a final textured and modeled character is combined to that skeletal. So these are all muscles which we create for to create a realistic effect. If there is no muscles, then it will not be so realistic. So we will have that biceps, everything. It is like creating a 3D character with the proper anatomy, human anatomy, or that builds the character development. The for everything is done in 3D.
Do you want to go to space? You want to go to space, puppy? I'll take you to space. Come here. No. Come here. Right here. I lost the only family I ever had. Quill, Groot, Drax, the chick with the antenna, all gone. So is it too much to ask that you brush the crumbs out of your beard? Make sure we talk to Pretty Pants, and when she's not looking, suck out the Infinity Stone and help me get my family back.
So this full environment is created in 3D, and it is rendered. So if you see this all reflections and refractions, everything is done with the texturing, and it is using the realistic sunlight. We'll have this reflection and refraction. The same gold material, silver material. We'll add it. After that, we'll get the final rendering. We'll get this kind of effects. The sea, same kind of seas we can create in 3D. Everything is in 3D model now. You can see it is in a 3D model. After texturing, giving a proper lighting and texturing, you can get this kind of realistic effects. This character is wearing a motion suit. Can be sure. So after that, the model is done with the rotomation. It is called a rotomation technique, where we can connect a realistic character, morphing it. The suit is not a real suit; it is computer generated suit. You can see the detailing of texturing. This much of detail we can give it. The realistic fur of small hairs and eyebrows and eyelashes, everything. So this is a motion capture shoot which captures the character's actions and transfer to this character. This is the front camera of motion capture camera. So these points are all tracked. So these points will be tracked and connected to this character's realistic rig, which animates the character. So I'll show you that rig how it will look like in next session.
We're good.
Scott, I'm going to send you back a week, let you walk around for an hour, then bring you back in 10 seconds. Make sense?
Perfectly not confusing. Good luck, Scott. Got this.
Time travel. What? I see this as an absolute win.
You can see this.
Click was net. Click was net. Click was net. Click was net. Nice place in the village.
Yeah, Sullivan Street.
Wait, he lived in New York?
No,
Yeah,
lived in
on
Toronto.
Bleecker and Sullivan.
Listening to anybody.
Guys, if you pick the right year, there are 3 stones in it.
Shut the front door.
Okay. Show you. Okay. So I'll show you the industry growth of how many people have been worked in movies and how the industry is growing and what are the things, what are the environments here.
We all know that today's movies are filled with VFX. Some of them are obvious, others are invisible. But how many people does it take to create visual effects for a typical blockbuster? Let's check that out. Any film that doesn't require some VFX. But how many artists work on a typical movie or TV series, and how long does it take? We're going to check Avengers Infinity War, which should be a good example as a VFX heavy film. And later, we'll compare it with other films and TV series. Let's start by saying that there's almost no movie for which visual effects are provided by just one company. Usually, it's at least several, and still the work can take several months. On Avengers Infinity War, VFX have been created by at least 15 different companies. Among them, some of the best and biggest, like Weta Digital, Industrial
So
Light and Magic.
these are the
Domain,
companies which are doing 3D animations. Most of the companies in that top companies, Weta Digital, Industrial Light and Magic, Digital Domain, DNEG, Cinesite, Frame Store, Method Studios, Rise, and Lola. These companies do most of the films which you see 3D animated, like Avengers, whatever you see, like Spider-Man. Most of this will be done this from these kind of companies.
Those companies have a similar structure and hire artists which specialize in one particular field. So we can go through some of the departments and check how many artists and technicians work there regarding Avengers. The work on any VFX project usually starts with concepting creatures and environments and pre-visualization. In those areas, there has been around 20 people working. The concepts then go to 3D modelers. Here it was over 60 people. Next, the models were passed to riggers and animators. Over 80 artists, or to lighting and texturing departments, where over 120 persons worked. Simulations, like smoke, fire, or water, were created by over 100
100
artists.
people. So there will be 100 people working for this effects for a single movie.
Time, motion capture and match move teams did their part. That was over 80 people.
For this Avenger movie, we are showing for this particular Avenger movie. This much of people's work.
Together with all the previously prepared CG elements, were then passed to paint and rotoscopy, as well as to compositing department. Compositing is the final step on VFX creation. On Avengers, that was over 500 people.
Total 500 people for only VFX. So VFX compositing is the final stage. So after modeling, texturing, lighting, rendering, rigging, animation, and doing everything, Final stage is the compositing VFX place, where the 500 people are working on that
There was
VFX.
over 120 supervisors of the departments.
So
And the whole
120
process was
supervisors
coordinated
work
by a
for that
production
movie.
team, which consisted
170
of over
people production team.
170 producers, managers, and coordinators. There has been few more departments involved, like editing, IT support, render wranglers, or runners, and multiple other artists and technicians. The sum of all the people that took part in the creation of VFX for Avengers Infinity War was over 2,080.
So overall, 2,080 people worked for this single movie
That
for
number is
Avengers.
solely the amount of people
Okay.
working on digital VFX and post-production. It doesn't include anyone who
So
worked on
this is-
special effects on set or on makeup or
That only represents the people who worked for the 3D animation and visual effects process, not for the special effects process or the directors or cameramans, actors. That is not included in that. Only 2,080 people for only this post-production
prosthetic
works.
effects. Now, this movie is an extreme example because of the humongous amount of VFX shots and digital characters that it contains. We can quickly compare that to some other films. Iron Man 3, 1,960 people.
So Iron Man 3 was done with 1,960. This Avenger was done with 2,080. So this will be show the the growth. So our last was Avenger, which was done with 2,080 people. So this is
Harry Potter and the
1960.
Deathly Hallows,
You can see Harry Potter's
1,310.
1,010 artists, 1,310.
Star Trek Beyond, 1,300.
Before Harry Potter, Star Trek was done with 1,300,
Star Wars, Rogue One, 920.
920,
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, 700 people.
700 people for Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom.
Matrix Revolutions,
Matrix,
600.
you can see it is 600 artists done for the Matrix.
Jurassic Park, 304 artists.
This is the first part of the animation.
Matrix, only 135.
So you can see the gradual growth of the artists who are working for movies. So it started when Matrix, it was 135 artists, Jurassic Park 304, Matrix Illusion 600, 700, 920, 1,300, 3,310, 1960, 2080. Now, if for the upcoming Avengers and all Avatar films and all, the artist list has been grown. So VFX artist has been grown. So the readers is also more.
You can notice
So for an animated movie, it takes around 3 to 7 years. Even it takes 12 years for animation movie to be completed because of the process. It takes a lot of process to done these movies.
how through the past 30 years, the number of visual effects artists was increasing on those productions. It demonstrates how contemporary movies became dependent on VFX. In recent years, audience started to be very
Not only for animation movies, web series also people are working in. Not a big production companies. Web series companies also are small scale companies. They also working for this web series animation movies.
HBO and other stations, the demand for visual effects increased significantly. A few years ago, big VFX houses like ILM, Weta Digital, or Double Negative would only work on feature films. Recently, however, TV productions can afford to hire even the big players. Let's now have a look how some of the known TV series look in numbers regarding the amount of required visual effects artists. Lost in Space, 500 people and at least 16
So
companies.
not for only big production companies like Weta Digital, Industry Light and Magics, and these kind of companies all work for the high budgeted movies only, not for small budgeted movies or a television series. These companies work for high budget movies. So these television industries and all go for a small budgeted companies. It outsources the projects to many companies. Not it depends on the one company. It separates the projects to different companies. So you can see this Lost in Space, which was done in Netflix. It was done by 16 companies with 500 artists. So they'll be
Star Trek Discovery,
distributing the projects to the
450
different
people
companies.
from 5 companies. Westworld,
So they cannot afford that much of things.
and at least 10
So they will
companies.
be spending to the different companies and get the output.
2,500 artists from over 20 companies. That, however, covers all 7 seasons of the show. As you can see, visual effects production is incredibly complicated and time-consuming. To deliver good quality of CGI, it takes hundreds or even thousands of skilled artists from many different disciplines, and that can be very expensive. Next time, when watching your favorite film or TV series, think how many people worked hard to deliver you those visuals.
Okay. Nice. And show you. So, so we already spoke about that 3D animations and all, okay, which is used in the industry, okay. So also told you that it is used in television commercials, and also it is done in different kind of, not only for high budget movies, low budget movies are also using, and this 3D modeling process, everything I told you. So I'll show you ad commercial which is used for 3D, okay. So this is an Michelin tire advertisement, which done with a 3D full and fun done with a 3D concept.
Faced with unpredictable weather, how do you keep danger at bay? Today, Michelin creates CrossClimate, the first tire able to cope with unexpected weather thanks to its revolutionary performance. With the Michelin CrossClimate innovation, arm yourself for every weather condition. Michelin, a better way forward.
Okay, so people are getting moving forward to create these kind of advertisements, which is in 3D kind of things. Okay, I'll show you another demo reel done by Makuta VFX. Okay, in this you can see how the backgrounds are created with 3D, and what are the combinings. If you want, you can create an animal which can be composited with a real character. It's like that. It is not a high budget movie like Jungle. We can give a motion capture movie. Normal Tamil movie, Telugu movie, people are also using this 3D animation and visual effects for their movies. So these are computer generated characters which will be combined in this, composited in this video, so that you can see a lot number of peoples. So this is not a realistic thing. This is done with a set, with a fan, and this was kind of properties with a set in a small set. This is composited in a computer generated thing. Street. These buildings are all computer generated. There is no background buildings which is done realistic. Everything, every buildings are computer generated. So this cow is not a bull, is not a realistic thing. It is a computer generated. So people will not directly ride from the bull. It is like they will not ride on the bull. Yeah. Okay, that will be tracked with the 3D object. After that, it will be composited into it. You can see this is a machine with this machine actuator. This will be tracked, and this will be given to the 3D cow that will be animated, and this character will be composited on that bull. See, this is like compositing. After this animating this, we'll remove everything and we'll match this character to this. See. Now it looks like he is riding on that. The total city is done. Again, done. So most of the houses and buildings are computer generated. It's not a realistic which is used in that movie. This building is also computer generated. So this is how the compositing and 3D animations works in this industry. I think many of you have seen the movie called Walk. Okay, a guy will be walking from a building to another building. So I'll show you that also. That kind of a thing also created with only 3D, which is he'll be walking in a set, a small set studio. In that studio, they will capture that character and we'll be adding it to a realistic building kind of things. Okay, that I also I'll show you the process. Okay. So the World Trade Centers is computerly generated here. So he'll be pictured in a studio, small studio. Then we will create everything in the computer, the city, backgrounds, everything, this height of the building, everything will be created in computer generated, and we'll match it to this character.
All-in production budget of $35 million, and we had to get pretty inventive to achieve the scope of the film.
So everything is computer generated here.
We shot him up.
So this is the original shot, which is done in a studio. He'll be walking in a rope. There will be a fan to show the wind is blowing, and these characters will be standing here. Everything will be removed. These green screens will be removed. Only this building will be cropped, and it will be placed in the realistic computer generated buildings.
40 by 60 by 12-foot high corner of one of the World Trade Center buildings on stage. An optically based simulcam system gave Zemeckis and his crew a real-time preview of what the final shots might look like. We used it to set vanishing points and horizon lines, which really helped to avoid any nasty surprises in post. It also helped to give the cast of the film important context for the surroundings that they were acting in, rather than just a sea of green screen. All of the activity in the streets down below, from the cars, the people, to the flocks of birds and moving atmosphere, was created from scratch. The towers themselves were built perfectly down to every last nut and bolt, and then artists spent months introducing imperfections to make them feel hand-built. The scenery down below was decked out too, with spinning fans and rooftop HVAC units, rain gutters on buildings, and hot dog stands in the streets to make the city feel alive. The world from below looking up required extensive CG builds of Midtown Manhattan, since there was nowhere in Montreal that could double for that location. Just under half an hour of the walk took place either on a corner of one of the Trade Center rooftops or in the void between the towers. This meant that we had to accommodate every conceivable camera angle from up high, and also a vast number of lighting scenarios, from nighttime to early morning to blustery overcast and a sunny fall day. So we couldn't just create one matte painting and reuse it like we normally would in a single environment. The lighting really had to be alive the entire time. All of that flexibility.
Everything is captured in a studio, a small studio that will be transferred into this computer generated buildings. Is everything is pretty done.
So we developed software that allowed the vast majority of the film to be rendered in the cloud. In all, 9.1 million core hours, that's over a millennium on a single processor, was rendered in the cloud. Cost-wise, the cloud saved 50% versus traditional methods, and the walk amounted to the largest single use of cloud computing in the history of cinema. We only built a small section of the World Trade Center's iconic lobby, so digital set extensions expanded it to its full glory. Our workload was almost doubled because of the chromed out...
With the help of digital set extensions, so everything can be created here.
Virtual camera shots like this one needed fully digital environments, traffic, and crowds. We even had period-accurate papers in the newsstands. Our digital reproductions of the towers had to replicate the chameleon-like feel of the real building's broadly reflective anodized aluminum facades. The world around them needed to live in 360 degrees for every single shot to get just the right reflective field, and we used V-Ray's GGX BRDF to emulate the thousands of microscopic bumps in every square inch of their surfaces. Different stages of the rooftop's lifespan, from early construction to fully completed, each called for its own unique build. Old Montreal doubled for Paris, and we used both period-accurate and modern photography from real locations in Paris to sell the place and the era. The film is peppered with shots that involve multiple...
So this movie contains a lot of 3D modelings, matte painting, digital painting, everything is composited here with the help of realistic images. Something are used with the realistic image things. The buildings will not be so real. It will be done by your image. We'll convert the image into it. So we'll scan that character. We'll scan that character into 3D software. We'll scan him fully, completely, and everything will be transferred to this character. The 3D scan technology. So we'll take the lighting in different angle for his faces. so that we can create the reflections,
recipe for the
same
30
skin
second
textures.
face replacement shots that
Multiple maps will be used, like diffuse map, specular,
lenses
epiderm,
are new by this level of
normal map,
detailing and that they can
occlusion map.
always
A
be
lot of maps will
expanded
be used
so
for
you're overcoming the
have the
announcements
realistic
all in
effects.
the pursuit of creating art.
So this is how they does the process of it. Okay, now I'll show you with the software. So we'll see how the software looks like. Uh, so right now we are using Maya. Okay, you can see the 3D software. So this is how the software looks like. So whatever you see, like Avengers, Avatar, whatever the movie you see, that characters are created with this kind of softwares, which is a 3D software. Right now I'm showing you the Autodesk Maya. So this is how the software is. So this is the 3D grid, and which we will have the place where we can use it. So this is the 3D grid. So I told you that modeling, right? So this is how the model looks like. Okay, whenever you do a model, this is how the model will be. So this is a 3D model. It doesn't have anything. This is a 3D model, right? So after this model, you will be texturing it. So texturing is nothing but giving the colors to it. This is like a clay or something, clay kind of thing, a gray shade material. After this, we'll be adding color to this character. Okay, so color is nothing but giving the shade. This is how these colors will be. After giving the shade, it looks like a realistic thing. You can see the bumps, you can see the detailings of this character. So after creating this detailings, it will be rigged is like creating a digital bones. Okay, you can see a digital bone. Okay, if I want to create a tail animation, I can create a digital bone in this, like using a rigging kind of thing. I can create some bones. I can draw the bones here. You can see this joints. This is how we'll create the joints for this. Okay, so after creating joints, we can use the joints to move it. We can select the joints and we can move it in a different ways. Okay, so that is it. We can use the joints, we can use it, rotate it, we can move it like this. With the help of joints, we can create controls for this character. Controls is like creating a puppet kind of thing. Okay, now I can see these are all the controls for this character. If you want to rotate its head, I can use this control to rotate its head. And this I can rotate it. It reacts it. So this is kind of a puppet kind of thing. Whatever I want to do, I can do it with this character. And rotate it. I can move it. I can rotate it. I can access it. If I want to close its mouth, I can close it like this. You can move it. So with the help of this puppet, what we will do is we will animate this character. Okay, so we'll animate it like giving a keyframes here. I can rotate its wings and I can animate this character. Okay, after giving an animation, so we can see this final output as a animated object. So now we can see after keying it, it does it. Gives a movement to it after keyframes. You can see a lot of keyframes has been given here. So these are the keyframes you can see in the bottom line. These are called keyframes. With the help of keyframes, we can animate it like this. Okay. Now I'll play it and show you. So you can see it flies and it is animated. Okay. This is how the animation. After creating the bones, we will be creating with the help of the controls. We will be animating the character so that it animates it, and this will be rendered and it will be taken as a final output. So that will be composed with the movies, and we can see this as a final output in the movies. Also, we can create some realistic effects also. Like, show you. So these are all with texturing. You can see the watch, which is looks like a realistic, but it is a 3D model. It has a lot of parts. Everything is done with the 3D. You can see this part is done with 3D. This part is done with 3D, and these parts, names, everything is done with 3D setup. Okay, these keys are done with different parts. This chain, all these parts, which can be done. So it's all done in 3D modeling. You see the wireframe shades. We have all the tools in this software. You can create anything you want. Like if you want to create a Hulk, also you can create it. If you want to create Avengers, total movie has been done with this kind of softwares, 3D softwares. So these softwares gives a major role in creating movies. Yes. So I think these videos and PPT presentations have given some now informations to you about the 3D animation industry. The animation industry is going very big right now because there is quite a lot of people required for working in animation industry. The main thing is you have to have creativity. You can develop the creativity and bring a real life to the creative, whatever you think, whatever you want to create it. Okay, just you need an idea. That idea can be bring it into a realistic life for that character. That is the main process in this 3D animation and visual effects thing. Also, visual effects is there. Visual effects is like creating some realistic effects, giving a motion to effects like cloth, fur, hair. Everything can be created in this 3D animation and visual effects. So this is a big process. So I hope you all had a good session with right now. I think, and thank you so much for having this wonderful session. And I like to thank Mr. Dr. Meenakshi, who have given me this wonderful opportunity for me. Also, for this wonderful session. Yes, I would like to thank Dr. Gautam P. For the Honorable Secretary and Correspondent, and also Dr. M.K. Malati, Principal, and Dr. Meenakshi, Coordinator of Skill Development Cell. And thank you so much all for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And also, I thank our Anira Animation who has suggested my name for doing this wonderful session with you. And thank you so much all. And I'll over to Mr. Dr. Meenakshi now.
Thank you, sir. Interaction is an opportunity to learn more. Now, the guests are required to interact with the guest. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So there's a question. Sir, why can't they
Yes.
wear
Okay.
real suits?
See, actually, the real suits they can wear it, but this real suits cannot match with the 3D environment, and there should be a proper lighting also. And this real suits cannot animate it. For example, if you want to do Iron Man, right? If you have seen the Iron Man movie, Okay, the suits which you are using, you can create that suit also. Okay, but you cannot wear it, you cannot animate it. It's flying through and it's combining it. Okay, if the shoot is tarred and there is a smoke kind of thing effects. Okay, so that we can if it is a 3D track, okay, you can create some illuminations in the light effects and all. So that is why we are using 3D suits, and it differs according to it. If you want to tear the shoot, for example, if you see the Hulk, when he is going from Bruce to Hulk, he's transferring from the different body. So there the cloth tears it. Okay, we cannot tear it in the real life. Okay, so while creating a 3D generated, we have to have create a 3D shoot that will be matched to that character. That's why.
Okay, sir. Sir, another question. How to become a professional animator?
Okay, so to become a professional animator, only thing is you have to learn the softwares, which is 3D softwares in the industry. Once you learn the 3D software industries, you can choose. There are a different type of categories in this 3D animation industry, like modeling, texturing, lighting, rigging, animation, compositing, visual effects. There are different kind of categories. So only thing you want to become a professional and thing means you have to need a passion in this, and you have to create some creativity. That's it. You don't need to know of any knowledges of programmings and all. You just have to learn the software. You go for it, and you can become a professional. You have to work it, and you have to have a passion in it, and you can 100% become a professional artist in this.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, is there any simplest animation software for the beginners?
Yes, you can use Blender. Blender is an open source software. You can use it. It is a free. There is no license cost for it. You can download it freely and you can use it. In Blender, they are having a YouTube channel for them. They will give all the tutorials. They'll teach it. It is a basic introduction in the entry level software. You can do modeling, texturing, lighting, rigging, animation, sculpting, editing, effects. Everything can be done. It's a complete package in a single thing. You can use it. It's a free software and you can try it. After that, you can go for a higher end softwares like Autodesk Maya kind of things and all. You can learn it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Being thankful and expressing your gratitude is an important part of being happy in life. I request Rekha Kumar, with second year Bachelor's of Commerce, to propose the vote of thanks.
On behalf of GSS Jain College for Women, I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. I firstly thank the Almighty God whose grace has made this webinar successful. I express my heartfelt thanks to our guest of honor, Mr. R. Vinod sir, who has presided over this session and enabled us to acquire knowledge on 3D animation. Thank you, sir. We felt that it was highly beneficial to us. I extend my gratitude to our principal, Dr. M.K. Malati Madam, and our correspondent, Dr. Gautam P. Ved sir, for their guidance and support. I convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. S. Meenakshi Madam for her efforts in arranging this program. I also express my special thanks to all the faculties who have joined us from GSS. I also convey my heartfelt thanks to all the parents for taking part. It is my duty to thank all my fellow students for their participation. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.